What's up? It's Karceno going for the stroll again. I just saw the Scottie Pippen thing, man. Somebody said they sent it to me before. Like, I sent you that before, man. I sent you that. I'm like, bruh, do you know how much people send me a day? I appreciate it, but I don't get to see every single thing. Now, Scottie Pippen thought, Isiah Thomas said that he thought LeBron James, at this point, he would take LeBron over Michael Jordan. Because all the things Michael could do, LeBron could do, and blah, blah, blah. Right. Now, Isiah Lord Thomas III is the greatest basketball mind to ever exist. Huh? Greatest basketball player to ever play the game. And because of that, we got to listen to Scottie Pippen go ahead and tell the biggest lie in creation. He gonna come out and they gonna say, Scottie, do you agree with Isiah Thomas? I don't agree with nothing he said, nothing he ever did. No, go on, sit down somewhere, Scottie. T-Mac looked like he was ready to slap him upside the head with that mug. He sipping tea like, Go ahead, Scottie. Isiah drafted Tracy McGrady. They weren't even, nobody in the league was really checking for him. They wasn't checking for T-Mac. Zeke saw the talent in him. Number 2 overall pick in the draft. You don't agree with nothing he ever did. Win a national championship, win most outstanding player for the University of Indiana. You don't agree with nothing he ever did. Took a team, led a team to an NBA title. 2 of them, as a matter of fact, been to 3 straight NBA finals. Been to like 7 Eastern Conference Finals games. But you don't respect nothing he ever did. 13-time All-Star in a row. The first player ever to win multiple All-Star MVPs. Has over 10,000 assists, but you don't agree with nothing he ever did. We don't agree with nothing you ever did, Scottie. You buzzard face looking punk. What have you done besides ride Michael Jordan's coattail? Huh? What have you ever done? Who are you to ever question what Isiah Thomas has done? This is the same fool who caught a lot of beef and slack for saying that LeBron was better than Michael Jordan. Now he backpedaling. On the show, he backpedaling. No, I can't go against my teammate. You was just in the paper, you dummy. In Chicago, they was ready to kick you out the city for saying LeBron was better than Michael. You need to worry about the future of your spouse. The future and your spouse. That's what you should be worried about. Listen. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm not saying he's a good person. All I'm saying is old buzzard face should not be buzzing around no Isiah Thomas. You can't respect what he did like you done something amazing. All you was somebody who was on board for Michael Jordan winning championship. Don't forget about your no-show in the last championship series with your bad back. I guess all that gin sauna took it out of you. Yeah, buzzard face Scottie. Gonna get an attitude with Isiah Thomas because Isiah don't like you. Who are you? Like he's saying, he could take it. Isiah said, look, if they talking about the dream team, as far as who didn't want to play with who, when they talk about the dream team as far as who didn't want to play with who and who didn't want to do what, Scottie don't have a say in that. Scottie don't have a say. You think Scottie Pippen shouldn't even been on the team, let alone to try to front as if he had a position. You don't have a position. You're Scottie Pippen. You're there to carry Jordan's bags. Jordan's there because he likes playing with you. He's used to playing with you. That's the only reason you there. If Dominique wasn't injured, you really wouldn't have been there. But there was a lot of players that should have been there besides Scottie Pippen. The dream team was in 92. Scottie just started playing decent in 91. So who are you fooling? Old buzzard face Scottie. That's why he's always shunned out when everybody doing something. He used to hang with Mike. Mike don't be kicking him with Scottie no more. Because he think Mike picking up the tab. Hey, so why would Mike pick up the tab? And I mean, I understand. You know, you upset. Your wife is worried about her future. Like, yeah, I got 6 NBA championships. I'm trying to think, what did you do? Richard Dumas pissed on you in the Phoenix series. Against Portland, you didn't really do anything there either. Who did you lock down? What did you do? The Magic Johnson 91, you guarded Magic Johnson. You played good D on Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, who was HIV struck at the time and didn't know it. No James Worthy in the series. Because in other words, you would have had to guard James Worthy. And James would have pissed on you like he always did. Big game James for a reason. That's the reason that they beat y'all without Magic Johnson the very next year in the regular season when James Worthy scored like 40-something points, had a big game, and took y'all to school. And Anthony Pillar hit them shots to seal it. Now listen. We could nitpick all day about Scottie Pippen. But let's go through his whole thing. When Michael wasn't there, everybody loved to talk about one season when Scottie Pippen had a good year. He should have been MVP. He averaged 25 points a game, but he should have been MVP. Okay. They had 3 All-Stars on the Chicago Bulls that year in the All-Star game. B.J. Armstrong, Horace Grant, and Scottie Pippen. So Pippen wasn't the only one doing something out there. But let me guess, he should have been MVP. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, if Cedric Sabalas would have played, they would have won. Because they had another athletic body that could have guarded Michael Jordan. And then Dan Marley wouldn't have been left with the assignment of guarding Michael Jordan. You were asking for that. You was asking for 50. Look, I like Thunder Dan. Thunder Dan is good for driving the lane, dunking on somebody, and shooting a long distance 3. But Thunder Dan wasn't finna guard no Michael Jordan. That's just out. Dumas did his thing, but, you know, the coke was too much for him. Based on his performance in the finals, it's what led them to get rid of Cedric Sabalas. Then Richard Dumas had to go into rehab for coke. And then Charles Barkley cussed him out when he came back to the team and apologized, and they let him back on the team. And they cussed him out. But you're right about that. Well, let's talk about Scottie. Okay, after that 1 year without Michael Jordan, they surprised a lot of teams. They made it that far. Okay, you had 1 year without Mike. What happened that second year, Scottie? What happened that second year, Scottie? What happened that second year? What happened to that second year, Scottie? That's what I want to know. What happened there? Y'all remember that second year with Scottie? Where were the Bulls? They was about to be out the playoffs, right? Scottie Pippen was throwing chairs on the court, getting ejected from games, fighting with Phil Jackson because Tony Kukoc was getting the last shot and not him, because they ain't believe in him. So he sat out the play. I ain't going in the game. So the Bulls is getting ready to trade him and B.J. Armstrong. Jordan saved his job. So you wouldn't have had 3 rings if Michael Jordan didn't say, no, don't trade Scottie. Will Purdue has more rings than Isiah Thomas. So what does that do? You think Will Purdue is a better basketball player than Isiah Thomas? Stacey King got more rings than him. Do you think Stacey King is a better player than Isiah Thomas? No. So can that noise. They were losing. They were all the way in 6th place, about 2 games out, with like 16, 17 games to go in the season. The Bulls was almost out the playoffs. Michael Jordan came back and made sure that the team made it to the playoffs. That's why they didn't have home court in none of the games. They came in as the, 6th seed? They made it to like 6th or 7th seed in the playoffs that year. That's why he was begging for Michael to come back. He's sticking up the shoe with the Jordan logo. Come back, because I can't deal with this pressure. You can't deal with pressure. You fold under pressure. The big game, you get a big migraine headache. Come on, get out of here. I got a migraine. I couldn't answer the bell. You ain't clutch. You not official. You are a role player, Scottie. That's all you've ever been. So play your role, do your little talk show, and shut up and quit talking like you an elite basketball player. You have no place. I got more rank to say stuff than you. Only thing you could say is you played with Michael Jordan and you was able to win, like Randy Brown and everybody else on the team. Nobody want to hear buzzard-faced Scottie Pippen sitting over there lying to people. I don't respect nothing he ever did. Ain't nobody care about what you respect. Who cares about what Scottie Pippen respects? Nobody in the NBA respects this guy. That's the thing. Nobody respects Scottie. They look at him like, yeah, that's Michael Jordan's towel boy. You know, like, you got to be kidding me. You went to Phoenix after that, right? You went to the Phoenix Suns with Akeem Olajuwon. You went there with Akeem, and you went there with Charles Barkley. They paid $30-some million for you to get over there. $30 million in a season. Scottie got a big-time contract when he couldn't even move in the NBA Finals. So for you to get that money was lucky. You couldn't even move in the NBA Finals. Michael had to win that game by himself because you weren't able to answer the bell. So because you didn't answer the bell, you went to the Rockets. Not the Suns, my bad. Yeah, he went to the Houston Rockets. So he went to the Rockets, and they got rocketed out of there in the first round. Scottie, the only game they won is when Scottie went crazy and hit all these shots, and they were like, finally. You know, we paid $30-some million. About time he did something. Because he was disappearing. And after the one game, Scottie disappeared again. Because they was under the false pretense that he was a somebody. You know, Michael Jordan was hiding the fact that Scottie's really a nobody. He's a role player. That's it. And Michael was hiding that fact from you. He was trying to let y'all know that this is Scottie is a complimentary player. You put him in a situation with somebody like he's LeBron. LeBron by himself, he can't do anything. You put him some complimentary players to him, then he could do the things that he want to do. LeBron can't get past the double team. He can't get past one guy. He's a role player. He's not a franchise player. When they thought he was a franchise player, you know what happened? He was out of there in one season. One season with the Rockets. They shipped him right out. They didn't ship Barkley out. They shipped Scottie out. In 1 year, they shipped Scottie Pippen out. Because he was not what they thought he was. If he was a franchise player, because there's only two players. You are a franchise player or you are a role player. And he is a role player. LeBron James is a glorified role player. He did his thing in Portland? No, Portland did their thing. If he did his thing in Portland, why they didn't go to the NBA Finals? They were up 14 points in the fourth quarter in Game 7. Why did they lose? They needed one game to win, they lost 2. How did that happen? When you're Scottie Pippen, right? The leader. They brought you there for leadership, to get them to the next level, Scottie. That's what your role was. He averaged like 12 points a game. He got some rebounds. And his thing was just to facilitate the ball and assist. But when it comes down to clutch time, they need somebody to make that basket. Where's our franchise player? Where's our Scottie? The leadership. Where's the leader? He sat in the background and let Kobe and Shaq run all over him. Why? Because they franchise players. He's a role player. He fades to the back. Franchise players step up in the clutch. They don't Scottie up. Michael Jordan had to come to his aid because he getting bullied. You think anybody bullied Isiah? He's 6'1" and was running up on dudes 6'11". Like what? He wasn't waiting for backup. Scottie Pippen crying at the referees. Michael Jordan had to tell people, man, leave him alone. Soft. Didn't show up against the Knicks. That's why I went 7 games, because he was scared. Scared of Xavier McDaniel. They all in there punking him. Shut up. He's starting again, Jess. Telling Jess Kersey, the referee, Jess, he's starting again. There's nothing but a big old punk. Maybe say everybody punking him. Everybody, the whole league know your whole playbook. Scottie Pippen, punk. Buzzard face punk. Who gonna sit there and listen to you? I don't agree with Scottie Pippen Isiah Thomas about LeBron James being better than Jordan. Not on any planet. I wouldn't bet them playing horse. I wouldn't bet them in anything. Michael will be better than him on every scenario around the board. Top 5. I don't know what you're talking about. Especially if you're talking about Pippen. I swear, somebody mixed a horse with a human, and they came up with Scottie Pippen. Oh, a horse is a horse, of course, but no one can talk to a horse, of course, unless the horse is, of course, the famous Scottie Pippen. Let's go. Got the nerve to be running his mouth. I don't see. That's the thing. The thing about it is he was the first one to say it. He was the one that started it. Scottie Pippen is the one that came out and said it first, and he got in all that slack. Hey, he got in all that slack for saying it. Then when he got in all that trouble for saying it, come on, let's go home. He got in trouble for saying it, then he wanted to backpedal. Because the city of Chicago was trying to whoop his brains in. They was like, Michael did all this for you? You jealous. He always been jealous. Remember that? I told you. Always been jealous. You did good. You were not that bad today. She tired. She needs some water. Hey. Dude, you come on here talking about somebody we ain't talking about to just make your point sound stupid. So fly away. You tired. Hey, come sit. She pooped. Yep. I mean, I don't think I know everything. I just know everything. Like Scottie Pippen, like Isiah addressed him already. He's like, look, if anybody else said they didn't want to play with me, if Magic Johnson, okay, Larry Bird, anybody of that stature, but Scottie Pippen, man, get out of here. Man, go to the store somewhere. You're not in this class, dude. That's why you're not on NBA TV. You're on some little Jack in the Box show on ESPN. that's why that's why they got you over there, Scottie. Scottie looking like they just dressed him 10 minutes before the show. Wearing a 1983 suit. It's like, come on, man. And you wonder why your wife has got a new future. You need to worry about your home license. Stop worried about Zeke. The only man that ever beat out to Michael Jordan that many times. Do you realize that nobody has beaten Michael Jordan as many times as Detroit Pistons has beaten Michael Jordan? Do you realize that? You talking about some. That's the only problem I have right here with what he said. Thank you, D1. Or Day One. Listen, the only problem I have with what Scottie Pippen said, this is not about did he how he felt between LeBron or Jordan. This ain't got nothing to do with that. This is about the fact this man said he didn't respect anything Isiah Thomas has done. Are you kidding me? Right. Scottie ain't the king of anything. He ain't even the prince. He's just a court jester. Underrated. Alexander Kaufman. Underrated? Are you kidding me? He's been overrated and overstated. His status in the game of the NBA has been overstated because he played with Michael Jordan. He played with Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That's why. Scottie's never carried Michael. And then he made the mistake of thinking he was Michael. And he couldn't handle the pressure. See, Scottie's problem was all mental. He's like LeBron. They fragile mentally. They fragile. Scottie was just more fragile. He won 0 rings without Scottie, you said? Well, Scottie just happened to be there for all 6 because of Michael. Michael would have won without Scottie. Period. He won without Scottie that last year in Utah. Scottie could barely walk. When Michael Jordan had the flu game, why couldn't Scottie carry the weight? Why did Mike have to still go out there and score 45 with the flu? Which is food poisoning, by the way. Don't ever buy that. It was a flu. The NBA did a nice job covering that up. But don't be fooled. It was food poisoning. And he still scored 45. Why couldn't Scottie carry the load? Grant Hill's better than Scottie. Of course he's better than Scottie. Who is Scottie Pippen? People in the NBA know Scottie Pippen's a joke. It's only y'all people who don't know. He's a role player. That's all he was. Cliff Robinson, all these other guys, they basically were Scottie Pippen. He made the All-Star team, his very first All-Star team in 1990. They won the championship in 91. He made the Dream Team in 92. That was disgusting. You forgot he was drafted in what, 84? 88? He was drafted in 88. Now, how he get in over all these other established NBA greats? No. Sorry. He was only there because Michael chose him to be there because he was comfortable playing with Scott. Think he's better than Dominique Wilkins? Dominique ain't won a ring, but he was a franchise player. That's the human highlight film. '87, '88, one of them years. So it took him 3 years before he became an all-star. His first all-star game. And he gotten better at handling the ball, but he couldn't handle the pressure. And because of that, Michael Jordan would come up short because they would contain Michael and force everybody else to do their job. He had a great game against the Pistons that 91 year only because the Pistons were broken up. They were old, they were injured, and they couldn't contain Michael, Scottie, and all of those guys, and Cliff Leviston was killing them on the boards. But Dennis Rodman was still schooling Scottie. Scottie had some... Right, his career average is 16 points a game. Come on, stop playing. Stop playing. Did he even average 10 rebounds? Did Scottie average 10 rebounds a game? Or 10 assists? Or near it? Right, he had a migraine and he scored 1 point in a game 7. He couldn't tough it up. Michael Jordan had food poisoning. You had a headache. Come on. Michael Jordan played through food poisoning. You had a headache and couldn't play through it. A migraine is not a headache. Go take some Tylenol or some Advil, grab your sack, and run out there and play. Michael Jordan played with food. You want to compare a migraine headache to food poisoning? Do you want to make that comparison? Because I guarantee you, they're blinding pains. You know what it was? He didn't have no damn migraine. What it was the pressure. Some people can't handle pressure. They crack. And that's what he did. He cracked. Right. He was feared. He was shook. The very next year, he was back scared again. So how you win the NBA championship and the next year you lose your balls again when you play the New York Knicks? And then you got to go 7 games with the Knicks because you scared. And then Michael got to come out and win the game against the Knicks in Chicago because you scared. He got to stand up to X-Man. Mike had to go head to head with X-Man to show you leave Scottie alone. He's my bitch. You got punked the entire game. That's why I tell you, nobody cared about Scottie Pippen. He is a wasted jersey. The Bulls putting a statue of Scottie Pippen in the United Center just showed you the type of losers they are. You might as well put a statue of Horace Grant out there. Do you realize Isiah Lord Thomas III came to the Detroit Pistons in 1981? Joe Dumars in college had a poster of Isiah Thomas on the wall. Don't ever get it twisted. Joe was great, but he wasn't Isiah Thomas, and he knows that. Isiah runs the show, the command, the plays, everything. Joe can't run point. Joe doesn't have that kind of, he got dribbles and handles, but not like that. That's a whole nother world you talking about. Right, because Isiah orchestrated that. When did Joe Dumars, Joe Dumars did score that against the Lakers. He was killing them. They looked at the matchups, and he was killing. That's why we let Andrew and Dantley go. Dantley was slowing the game down. When we could be giving the ball to Joe in transition, Adrian Dantley want to bag down, play the pose, and want to go up against Zeke and challenge Zeke for leadership of the Detroit Pistons. You will never, ever. No. Zeke is a boss, a leader, an executive, part ownership before any one of you other bums got part ownership in the team. Isiah Thomas had 10% ownership in the Toronto Raptors and was the president of operations. What other black NBA player did that? He bought the league. He bought the CBA, bought his own league. He didn't get a loan. He paid for it out of his pocket. What has Pippen done but blow his money on strip clubs and BS and garbage and broke? Tried to buy an NBA team with Christian Laettner, and Christian Laettner stole your money. He went to Duke. You let a Duke steal your money, and then you let Christian Laettner lead you to believe he's broke? He went to Duke. And he got millions of your money. And he hang up the phone when you call. Scottie Pippen. Click. You put all your money in the hands of a Christian Laettner and you wondering why you broke. Oh, it's not even a question of if Isiah Thomas is better than Scottie Pippen. You would have to be smoking the biggest crack rock on the planet to believe Scottie Pippen was even in the same conversation or room as Isiah Lord Thomas III. Don't ever make that mistake, ever. They be like, who you think better, Isiah Lord Thomas III or buzzard-faced Scottie Pippen? Now, a lot of idiots who don't know the game, they just saw like the Dream Team and saw Michael Jordan and the Bulls in '96. They would assume Scottie Pippen is that good. Jerry's one of my favorite players. Me and Jerry, I talked to Jerry Rice for about 30 minutes straight. And Jerry loved the way I was dressed because he's all about organization. That's Jerry. That's how he played football. That's how he lives his life. Organized. You can't interview Jerry until Jerry is fully dressed, hair done, lined. Don't try to interview Jerry if you ain't doing that. But Jerry was the best for a while, and I think LeBron James is a role player. You see how they went there and took everything down? We had too many people online, so they wanted to take the stream down. They some ridiculous people, man. I mean, it's getting too ridiculous. This circus treatment is ridiculous. She's an Armenian witch. Well, the spell she putting on him is amazing, because his numbers are going like this, dropping. Meanwhile, she got a young rapper got up in rotation. TMZ gonna be asking Scottie, where's Future? Oh, they got your chick up in rotation. Rappers making songs about your wife. Mm-mm-mm. And you over here worried about Isiah. Ah, well, it was very simple to us. Yep, that's exactly what he did, Jamal. Backtrack. He gonna backtrack now, trying to say how I can't go against my teammate. But you just did. Jordan and Scottie played great together. They played great together once they had an established rhythm of playing. They knew each other. They knew where they wanted the ball. They knew when Michael wants you to give him the ball and get out of my way. He knows Scottie was his punk. He just say, Scottie, give me the damn ball. Get out of my way. Scottie was Robin. Yeah, Robin was what? A role player. Nightwing wasn't Batman. So you wasn't a Batman, and Isiah was the Joker. They were A-lists. They going in the A squad. You riding on the C bus. See your way out of this. The Joker killed Robin. He got rid of Mr. Grayson. Yeah, well, that utility man came up short a lot. That's what I keep saying. Where was he at? Where was he at? Where was Scottie Pippen at when Jordan left? Jordan gave him the keys. Jordan said, I'm retired. I'm gone. The Bulls was ready to have Scottie as the leader. Scottie won MVP of the All-Star game that year. He wore them ugly red Pippins. Y'all remember that? But what happened to Scottie Pippen when Michael Jordan left? They had Horace Grant. They had B.J. Armstrong. They went to the NBA Finals. To the Eastern Conference. No, they went to the second round. They got beat in the second round by the Knicks. I won money off that bet. Because people thought they beat the Bulls to go to the NBA Finals. Nah, the Bulls got put out in the second round. They got robbed that game. Hugh Evans never liked Scottie Pippen. Rightfully so. He just thought Scottie Pippen was just the worst thing ever. I can't disagree with that. And he called that ridiculous foul on Scottie Pippen. You think they would have called that on a franchise player? Nope. But they called it on Scottie Pippen because he's a role player. That's all he ever was, a glorified, overrated role player. That's right. Hugh Hollins didn't like him, and I can't disagree with him. Here it is, 30 years later, I still don't like him. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. They're the same player, him and LeBron. LeBron's just a little bit more mentally stable. But LeBron's a role player. They're not franchise players. If the NBA bent the rules and made the rules the way Scottie Pippen wanted the rules to be, Scottie Pippen would be up there at the top. And they'd be calling him one of the greatest. But they didn't. They say you got to play the rules that are set in place. Unlike LeBron, who says, I want 5 steps. I want to be able to shove people off with my arm. I want to run them over like a freight train, and it's a foul on them for standing in my way. If you can do that, then yeah, you gonna score 30-something points a game. But if you got to play under the rules, and you are not allowed to play that way, then that's when he started having his 12-point games and they losing by 20. So you start to scratch your head and say, is this guy really good? Or was I duped? You were duped. Exactly, the Shaquille O'Neal rule.
Have you seen any signs?
I just don't get it. The U.S., but that's the thing. That's a real thing, right?
No, trade wars that happens in history. What does that look like?
I have no idea because we're not engaged.
I don't know whether we're going to have tariffs or not. I wouldn't take it. I would take the president's arguments quite seriously. We may. On the other hand, we may be able to settle this with negotiations.
That would be ideal for the NBA to have them match off against each other. But I don't think they want that. I don't think either one of them do.
Strange not seeing your name up there. To improve is to change. To perfect is to change often.
You know your church then.
I'm scribing and watching.
Oh snap, we are back live. I just love the way X-Man was punking him. Everybody know that, Brandon. For real, B. So who here didn't get a notification? Thanks, Professor X. How many of you are selected to all? Are you subscribed? If you are subscribed, make sure you have clicked all. When they have occasional or all. So if you are selected to all on the notifications and you are not getting your notifications, let me know right now in the chat. I agree. You get them once they're over. That's a stupid position. It is, and depending now what's your point guard gonna do? That means there were two players better than Scottie in '94 because they had Tony Kukoc, who came out smoking his rookie year, hit all those game-winning shots. Horace Grant was playing great, but was an all-star that year. B.J. Armstrong played great for the first half and made it to the all-star game that year. What happened the next year? Same Scottie Pippen. What happened? What happened? Those are baked to perfection. What happened in that year? That second year? After Michael was gone, the whole 94, right? What happened in 95? Want me to tell you? Need me to tell you? Scottie Pippen was playing terrible. He got mad. Phil Jackson was giving plays to Tony Kukoc in the clutch and not him. And he sat out the play. I don't want to go in. I ain't going in. And he sat there, didn't go in the game. And Tony Kukoc hit the game-winning shot anyway. So Phil showed him, Scottie, that's why I gave it to Tony. You don't have the energy for this type of play. That's why we ran it. We ran it for Tony. Yeah, Tony can hit that shot. You can't, Scottie. You're mentally fragile. Your mind, you want to hit that shot, but you're not going to hit it. Tony can hit that shot. Then he hit it. Man, I'm tired of Phil. He don't believe in me. He wouldn't have did that to Michael. He wouldn't have did that to Michael. Yeah, because you ain't Michael, chump. You buzzard-faced Scottie Pippen. And no buzzard gonna hit no game-winning shot at the buzzer. You watch a lot of ESPN. Whoever this guy is, you believe everything crazy. They called Isiah Mr. Clutch. You don't get that name, Mr. Clutch, just because they feel like giving it to you. That's what he do. Isiah wasn't hating. He told you the truth. He gave you a great basketball analytical answer as to why he chose LeBron James over Michael Jordan. So how is he hating on Michael Jordan? He's actually said Michael Jordan's a better basketball player than him, which I disagree again with Isiah Thomas. No, he never said Isiah was the toughest to guard. He said the toughest person to guard was Reggie Miller, because it was just nerve-wracking to guard him because he's going to run you through 1,000 picks. Michael wasn't better than Isiah Thomas. He wasn't a better basketball player than Isiah Thomas. Michael Jordan wasn't a better basketball player than Larry Bird. Bird tortured him. Hey, Nana, you want a treat? Let's get a treat. Come on. Let's go get a treat. You deserve one. You ain't gonna like these. Let me give her the other ones. Don't worry, you'll get the one you like today. There you go. I'm gonna try to take her food. She don't want nobody taking that food. Going to the war room. Take this to the war room. And you'll be like, Karceno, who are you? Where's your basketball trophy? See that? All my glory. Now, the thing is that Michael Jordan was a better scorer of the basketball. I mean, Klay Thompson is a role. He knows his role. If you put Klay Thompson in a position where he has to be the main guy, he's not going to score like you think he's going to score. He's not going to hit all those shots you think he's going to hit. He's not made for that. He can dribble enough to get a shot off, but he can't break anybody's ankles. That's not Klay's game. He's a catch and shoot performer. Period. That's what he brings to the table. Yes, I'm talking about Jordan versus Isiah. Michael was a better scorer than Isiah Thomas. He learned how to become a more complete basketball player later on in his career. When he got late in his career, late in age, he decided to step up in a different type of way. He realized that he would used to kill himself to get the same amount of points he was getting later on in his career. When he was in his 30s, 34, 35, Michael was still averaging the same amount of points, winning MVPs easy. And he was barely breaking a sweat. He figured the game out. Back then, he was trying to outwill you and killing himself. Boom! Dunking on everybody. And once he got older, he realized, I could use my team. I could move the ball around, swing it, catch the ball, get it in my favorite spots, pull up and hit from here. I can hit from there. It makes the night a lot more easy. I can get him in this post move, turn around, shoot the fadeaway. I don't have to be trying to kill myself going to the basket. That's what Kobe learned. But Isiah knew it. Isiah could have scored an average 30 points a night if he wanted to. Who could stop him? He was killing dudes on the court. And he would kill you on a basketball court. He would teach basketball camps and put on dribbling displays that would blind you around the globe. Him and Magic Johnson would take trips and they would have him do the bullet dribble. It literally was a blur. That's why when you see people who came up in the inner city of Detroit, only some of those people were gonna make it to the NBA. Chris Webber was one of those kids. All the Detroit basketball players were there. They were one of the few privileged people that actually saw it taking place. So, very underrated. I want to thank all you guys for hanging out in this live chat. We had a very productive chat today. I thought we got a lot accomplished addressing Scottie Pippen's ignorance. The next one I do will be about the Floyd Mayweather shooting. So I'm out. Let me regroup. Let my phone charge. We'll be back.